The human soul, the rocket of unveiling across both worlds. 6. The essence of the human soul. The human soul is a pure essence drawn from the realm of divine sanctity, a sacred trust bestowed upon humankind by Almighty God. Glorified and exalted is He, as He declares.
فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي.
And I breathed into humankind from my spirit. Surah Al-Hijr, 15:29. 7. The existence of the soul. As long as the soul remains within the body, both external senses, such as sight, hearing, and touch, and internal faculties, including cognition and intuition, function seamlessly. With its departure, these sensory and cognitive processes cease, and the body begins its natural course toward decomposition. This profound interconnection underscores the soul's essential role in sustaining vitality and coherence, reflecting the delicate balance between the spiritual and physical realms. 8. The perfection of the soul within the body. Just as the intellect penetrates the veils of material existence, the soul's luminous faculties, transcending the boundaries of reason, illuminate the hidden dimensions of reality. Through its radiant essence, one perceives the esoteric truths embedded within divine revelation, pierces the veils of this fleeting world, beholds the certainty of the eternal abode, and ascends toward the proximity of the everlasting one. Glorified and exalted is He. All of this unfolds in accordance with His divine will, as the soul journeys through the boundless expanse of knowledge and spiritual realization. Examples of the intrinsic existence of the soul, and a reflection on its unique perceptive faculties. 9. The intrinsic existence of the soul as an independent entity. Perceiving oneself in a dream as a fully conscious and reflective being, engaging in actions such as eating, drinking, and other activities, while the physical body remains motionless. This phenomenon attests to the soul's autonomous nature, illustrating its capacity to operate beyond the physical realm and reinforcing its distinction from mere physiological processes. 10. The density of the soul's intrinsic existence. As long as the soul resides within the body, humans and other land or aquatic creatures naturally sink when submerged in water, a state attributed to the gravitational pull of the soul within the corporeal form. However, upon the soul's departure, the lifeless body rises to the surface, revealing a shift in equilibrium. While physical science explains this through changes in buoyancy and density due to biological processes, the deeper reality suggests that the soul, though intangible, possesses a metaphysical weight, an unseen force that anchors the body within the realm of being. This phenomenon serves as a subtle indication of the soul's intrinsic gravitational influence over the physical form, maintaining balance until its final release. 11. The recitation of the soul. The act of reading or speaking without the movement of the tongue or lips, an experience that points to the soul's intrinsic ability to perceive and express beyond the constraints of physical faculties. 12. The eye of the soul. The ability to perceive forms and images inwardly, beyond physical sight. Psychology, when viewed from a secular perspective, classifies this phenomenon under the imaginative faculty, attributing it to cognitive processes that generate mental imagery based on memory, perception, and neural activity. However, in a deeper reality, this inner vision is recognized as a higher faculty of the soul, one that transcends conventional cognition, offering glimpses into realities beyond the sensory world. 13. The tears of the soul. Just as the physical eye sheds tears to cleanse itself when exposed to dust or debris, so too does the eye of the soul respond when veiled by sorrow and hardship, releasing a stream of tears to purify its inner vision. Occasionally, in moments of profound joy, this same flow may emerge. 14. The ear of the soul. The ability to inwardly perceive the words of another and engage in a dialogue with them despite physical distance, exchanging thoughts and responses as if conversing directly. When this state deepens, its effects may extend beyond the inner realm, subtly manifesting through involuntary gestures or bodily expressions, reflecting the soul's immersion in an unseen yet perceptible exchange. Commentary. As the lower faculties of the self have gained dominance over most people in our time, the subtle inner faculties are often neglected and dulled by the overwhelming pull of materialism. This imbalance is evident in the states and behaviors of those consumed by external distractions, leading to a detachment from deeper awareness and inner clarity. However, when the spiritual faculties are cultivated and refined, these fragmented glimpses, once distorted by illusion, begin to align with truth. This transformation brings one to the threshold of unveiling the unseen realm, where perception transcends the confines of ordinary existence, granting insight beyond the limitations of the physical senses. Here, the eye of the soul perceives realities concealed from material perception, and the ear of the soul attunes to wisdom beyond spoken words, guiding the seeker toward a profound awakening of consciousness and a harmonious integration of the spiritual and worldly dimensions. 15. The eminence and supremacy of the human soul over all living beings. Just as rhodium, the rarest and most radiant of metals, surpasses all others in purity and resilience, and as jadeite, the most coveted of gems, too, a deep awareness of life's transience. One begins to perceive their existence as though watching a film of their own life unfolding, a realization that life is but a fleeting passage, where each action is recorded and every moment shapes one's ultimate reality. This heightened awareness fosters wisdom, mindfulness, and a sense of purpose in one's journey. Major internal benefits. The most profound internal outcome of engaging in both conditional and unconditional acts of worship is the cultivation of an unshakable awareness of the divine presence. The heart and mind become refined, illuminated by the certainty that God is ever present, encompassing all states of existence, both outward and inward. This realization deepens one's perception, aligning thought, intention, and action with the awareness of the divine's continuous presence. Through the blessings of this heightened consciousness, the seeker ascends to the ranks of those endowed with spiritual unveiling kashf and certainty yaqin, attaining insight into truths that lie beyond the material realm. In this state, divine realities become increasingly manifest, dissolving the veils of heedlessness and awakening the soul to the vastness of its eternal journey. 22. The stages and ultimate perfection of the soul. The soul's journey toward perfection has no final boundary, for its ascension is limitless and continues beyond the confines of time. However, its progress is conditioned upon the performance of righteous deeds, as well as the ability to turn away from undesirable actions while still possessing the power to commit them. True spiritual refinement lies not merely in avoiding wrongdoing out of weakness or compulsion, but in consciously choosing virtue when one has the ability to do otherwise. This process of spiritual growth and transformation continues until the soul departs from the body. The fruits of this journey manifest in two enduring dimensions. 1. During one's lifetime, the direct impact of spiritual practices, ethical conduct, and self-purification while one is still in the world. 2. After death, the lasting effects of one's actions that continue to yield benefits beyond one's physical existence. Both dimensions contribute to the eternal unfolding of the soul's potential, influencing its rank and proximity to the divine. 23. The stages of the soul's development during life. The greatest means of spiritual refinement and ascension in this world lies in the fulfillment of divine commands and the avoidance of prohibitions. As previously discussed in the classification of spiritual nourishment, these practices serve as the foundation for the soul's growth, strengthening its connection to the divine and elevating it toward perfection. 24. The soul's evolution after death. Even after departing from this world, the soul's journey toward higher states of existence continues. If an individual leaves behind any of the following lasting contributions, they continue to earn spiritual elevation for as long as their impact remains beneficial to others. 1. Transformative knowledge. Ilm Nafi, any knowledge that advances human understanding, nurtures moral and intellectual growth, or promotes justice and well-being, whether through scholarly research, religious guidance, scientific advancements, or contributions that empower future generations. 2. Enduring acts of good, care baki, charitable efforts that leave a lasting social or humanitarian impact, such as publishing meaningful works, founding educational institutions, developing sustainable infrastructure, clean water access, healthcare facilities, public services, or any initiative that continues to serve communities long after one's passing. 3. A virtuous successor, Walid Li, a child or disciple who upholds ethical integrity, seeks truth, and works for the betterment of humanity, carrying forward a legacy of justice, wisdom, and service with sincerity and purpose. For as long as these contributions endure and bring benefit to others, the soul continues to ascend, attaining higher stations in paradise, Jinan, and beyond, drawing ever closer to the divine and deepening its spiritual realization beyond the confines of this world. 25. The onset of the soul's spiritual development. The soul's conscious journey towards spiritual refinement formally begins at the age of maturity, Bulyu, though before this stage, it is encouraged as a recommended practice. This marks the awakening of moral and spiritual responsibility, where one's choices and actions actively shape inner growth and character. The foundation of this development rests upon fulfilling divine rights, honoring one's obligations toward God. Reverence for parents and elders, recognizing the wisdom of scholars, the experience of elders, and the authority of those who uphold justice and integrity. Compassion for the vulnerable, extending kindness, protection, and support to those who are weaker, less fortunate, or in need. Commitment to righteous speech and conduct, cultivating virtue through ethical words and deeds that purify the heart and elevate the soul. By embracing these principles, one strengthens their spiritual and moral faculties, fostering inner illumination and a deepened connection with the divine. 26. The gateway to spiritual nourishment. The soul receives its nourishment through a profound spiritual channel within the heart, where the essence of divine oneness, Todd, and the radiance of faith, Nur al-Iman, reside. This gateway serves as the entry point for divine sustenance, strengthening the soul's connection to the eternal. Spiritual nourishment reaches the soul through three primary sources. 1. Through conditional acts of worship, structured devotional practices bound by divine obligations and sacred guidelines. 2. Through unrestricted acts of worship, acts of devotion and virtue that are not bound by specific conditions of time, place, or ritual, but are performed freely as expressions of sincerity and spiritual awareness. 3. through restraining from prohibited actions while in a position of power, consciously refraining from wrongdoing despite having the ability to act otherwise, demonstrating mastery over the self and alignment with divine will. Each of these pathways refines the soul, fortifies its inner light, and elevates it toward greater spiritual realization. 27. The providers of spiritual nourishment. The facilitators of spiritual nourishment are the righteous individuals who strive against the forces of the lower self, nafs, satanic influences, and all forms of ignorance and injustice. They dedicate their lives to guiding humanity toward truth, enlightenment, and divine proximity. These guides can be classified into three primary categories. 1. The prophets of absolute determination, Anbiya Ulul-Azm, the greatest of divine messengers, entrusted with universal revelations and comprehensive divine law. 2. The messengers, Rusul, peace be upon them, those sent to deliver sacred guidance and re-establish divine order among their nations. 3. The prophets and saints, Nabi and Awliya, Allah, those who, through divine favor, serve as channels of spiritual refinement, illuminating the path for seekers. Since the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is the seal of prophethood, Khatam al-Anbiya, divine revelation concluded with him. However, after his time, those who uphold and transmit divine wisdom, scholars, sages, and righteous reformers, are counted among the Awliya, Allah, friends of God, continuing the mission of truth and guidance. As the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "The scholars of my nation are like the prophets of the children of Israel." Thus, those who dedicate themselves to preserving, understanding, and conveying divine knowledge after him are regarded as the spiritual heirs of the prophetic mission, sustaining the flame of divine enlightenment for future generations. 29. Consistent companions of the soul. The soul's continuous development is supported by companions who consistently provide guidance and encouragement in strengthening its spiritual faculties. These include parents, elders within the family, relatives and close friends, teachers and mentors, well-wishers and sincere advisors. Their influence is effective when they possess sufficient knowledge and understanding of their roles, fulfilling their responsibilities with diligence and sincerity. This ensures that their guidance is rooted in wisdom and free from negligence. 30. Unconscious companions of the soul. These are individuals who, without intending to, play a role in one's spiritual refinement. Through their words or actions, they may inspire good deeds by serving as examples or offering advice, indirectly prevent wrongdoing by influencing one to refrain from harmful speech or actions in a given moment. Though unaware of their impact, these individuals act as instruments of subtle guidance, shaping the soul's journey toward higher consciousness.